Nick Saban made waves when he gave a response to a question about a young freshman, Tony Mitchell, and his standing with the team after getting in some legal trouble. Basically said, no, not basically, he did say there's no such thing as wrong place, wrong time. Now, for those of you that have been paying attention, the basketball coach, Nate Oats, had a similar statement talking about one of his players being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not here to jump into the actual events that transpired, but everybody wanted to talk about, is Nick Saban sending shots at Nate Oats? Nick Saban making a statement? Or Alabama's football and basketball programs, are they at odds? Or Nate Oats and Nick Saban, are they at odds? Like, since then, Nick Saban has come out and cleared the air and said, no, it had nothing to do with the basketball program. I've never watched a basketball press conference in my entire coaching career. Cleared the air. But I just want to sort of reel this back in a little bit and talk about this. This never passed the smell test. Like, think about who was saying this. It was Nick Saban, who, quite frankly, if it's not on the practice field or in the film room or something that's specific to his football team, you kind of get the sense that he's itching to get to something with his football team. Like a press conference, he gives the media their time. I think he's phenomenal at a press conference. But you have to imagine he's just focused on answering a question. He's not trying to give any kind of storyline. He's trying to answer the question as directly as possible and get the heck out of there and go to practice with his team or whatever the next thing on his agenda is. Okay? I believe that the press conferences for Coach Saban, and I can't prove this, but I get the feeling it's more of a have to rather than a want to. Okay? So he's not trying to make any kind of headline. If it were someone like Lane Kiffin, I'd say fair game, right? Like Lane Kiffin is a walking headline. He drops Easter eggs all the time. He'll talk about rat poison. He'll talk about Nick Saban. He'll talk about anything and everything in those press conferences. So you got to stay on your toes. With Nick Saban, he wasn't sending a message. This was never a storyline. It's great he's come out and cleared the air since then, but this was never a thing. Okay? Also, this is always how he's handled things. Like, if you track the career of Nick Saban and how he's handled discipline with his players, this has always been right in line in terms of messaging with how he addresses that. More thoughts on this in a second. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, content every single day. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and on Twitter, at JD Piquel. Again, this is your place. We talk ball, college ball, every day. We appreciate y'all locking in with us. As I was saying, this is nothing new for Nick Saban. Everybody wanted to get hung up on how he said it, but what he said has been what he said for a very long time. Let's go back to his time at Michigan State. Musa Muhammad gets in trouble. Fast forward the tape to when he's at Alabama, and he gets asked about that time that, someone on his team got in trouble, and he goes back to the Musa Muhammad example when he was at Michigan State. And he says, what do you want these kids to be? Do you want them to be at a college, earn their degree, have a chance to go and create value for themselves in the NFL, or do you want them to be out of school and back to whatever it was that got them in trouble in the first place? He's always been pro player, and he's always been very much so harping on the fact that these individuals are responsible for their decisions. Okay, and that's what he was saying. He's saying it's not a matter of the wrong place, the wrong time. It's about what you do as a player. Same thing that he coaches on the field, he preaches it off the field. You're responsible for your own decisions. It's not about the external, it's about the internal. You make your own decisions. And that's what he said about Musa Muhammad during that press conference at Alabama. That's what he said about Tony Mitchell during that press conference. This is sort of the second verse of what he's always been singing. The unfortunate reality is the verbiage matched up poorly with what one of his counterparts at the university had said, but this was never a Nick Saban thing. Nick Saban's always kept it about his guys, and this was the exact same thing he's been saying since he was at Michigan State, when he came to Alabama. This is who he is. You're responsible for you. No such thing as wrong place, wrong time, which I appreciate. Now, here's the other thing we really took into account quite as much when this whole storyline was circulating. Do you think Nick Saban has capacity to worry about what's going on with the basketball team? Do you think Nick Saban is interested in what's going on with the basketball team to the degree that he's worried about sending a message about how they should run things? The answer is absolutely not. Nick Saban is in high demand from sun up to sundown, worried about getting his football team ready to go win a national title in 2023. That is his main focus. That has all of his attention. He said as much at Bryce Young's Pro Day yesterday. He's like, I have never, in the entirety of my coaching career, taken the time to sit down and watch a basketball coach's press conference. That wasn't a shot at Nate Oats either now. He's just saying, do I look like someone who would waste my own time worrying about something that's not getting me towards my goal? It's how Nick Saban does things, man. So the fact that we all wanted to sort of make this a story and say Nick Saban versus Nate Oats, like, that was never a thing. Nick Saban has said as much, never passed the smell test. It's nothing different than what he said the entirety of his coaching career, and he's not going to waste his own time watching another person's press conference. Okay, so want to make sure we cleared the air on that on this show. Nick Saban has since cleared the air in his own right, but Alabama's going to be a problem, y'all. They got spring football on and popping. Nick Saban is worried about that quarterback battle, not other coaches' press conference. All right, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. This has been the Hard Count. Nick Break lifting heavy. This is your show, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following me on the socials, but we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.